Hello again, everyone, and welcome to our weekly Watch Party Wednesday. I'm Lee Gordon coming to you live from Chicago, home of Brunswick, where we are thrilled to welcome in our Freedom Boat Club owners and members from all over the world. And tonight, we are presenting the Vice President of Freedom Franchise Network, Louis Chiemi, for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at this year's FF20 virtual Freedom Forum. And last year, Louis, we had a chance to be in person. I know this year we're not going to be in person, but how are you doing with everything? And let's first of all, let's talk about the shirt. All right, let's it's the elephant in the room. Let's just go right there. It's Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday. So how'd you pick that one?
Yeah, Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday. You know, I had this one for a couple of years now. I didn't get it in Hawaii. It was nothing so exciting as that, but yeah, it's been coming in handy lately.
Well, that's great. So I know we've got the forum coming up. You know, it's this week, and everybody's excited about it. We'd obviously love to be in person, but we'll get to that in just a moment. But let's talk about you. I know you are an avid angler and you love your time in the water. And as you know, Freedom Social Club, we recently launched a Taste of Freedom Tunes playlist on Spotify. So when you're out on the water, what are you jamming out to?
Well, for personal favorite is, I guess, Billy Joel's Down Easter Alexa about sword fishing, and it's off of Long Island, which is where I grew up sword fishing and other types of fishing. So it's been a lot of fun to listen to that one.
So I'm glad you brought that song up, because when I first heard that song, I was like, this is a really, really good song. So, you always look up what's the song about. And obviously his daughter's name is Alexa. And so you kind of go down that road. It takes you down a rabbit hole of Billy Joel songs. But that's a really good one when you think about just getting out on the water and just kind of enjoying that calmness of it.
Yep, it's my favorite. So
that's great. So Luz, I know you've been in the industry for a long time, and we knew each other even before Brunswick. Acquired Freedom Boat Club. You worked at Navico, you worked at Ray Marine, you've sat on the boards with the NMMA and the ASA. But what brought you initially to Freedom Boat Club?
Yeah, initially heading to Freedom Boat Club was a no-brainer decision. I mean, basically 6.5, 7 years ago, I was headed to the American Boating Congress. I'm reading a trade-only article, and it talks about this Freedom Boat Club concept, and I just was shocked about how interesting that was and how it really hit home for me as a great way to get more people involved in boating. So I ended up at the conference literally that same day, running into John Giglio and grabbing him by the arm and talking to him about it. And again, it took a few years before the timing was right, but here I am.
That's great. It seems like everybody's story starts with an initial meeting with John Giglio. I think that's all roads seem to lead back to John in some way, shape, or form.
Definitely true.
So Freedom Boat Club now 245 locations, constantly growing. What does it take to become a Freedom franchise owner? And for any of our entrepreneurial members out there, if you want to get started in Freedom Boat Club, what are some of the steps that you need to take to get there?
Well, the first step is the easiest. It's go to the bottom of the website and click on Own a Franchise.
It's pretty simple.
That's pretty simple. But what we're looking for really is we're out there looking for a perfect fit. We're looking for somebody who's passionate about boating, high level of integrity, and a very high level of customer service, wants to share that boating passion with others and get people on the water and have a great time doing it. It's a lifestyle choice. And again, in order to do it, you do have to come up with some cash to buy the franchise and to buy the boats to get started. So it's somewhere on a 200 to 500K initial investment. But again, it's a great lifestyle. We've got about 65 franchisees that run these 245 locations. And we just did a survey, and basically about 91% of them said they would do it again in a heartbeat. So
it's great, especially this summer too, right? You want to have 10 of them if you can.
Exactly.
So, again, we were talking about the, 245 locations. You're always, I feel like I'm getting emails from you every week. Just continue to grow. We're always breaking news here on a Wednesday. And there's some really great destinations, with many of our locations. And, we truly do have the Freedom Travel Pass. I know you've been to many of the locations and you've boated all over the world, but in your opinion, what are some of the best hidden fishing gems out there?
Yeah, wow, there is a ton of great fishing opportunities. If you're like me, totally passionate about fishing, there is so many that you'll go crazy just trying to think of the options. There's a ton of great inland fishing in North Carolina lakes. There's all the way right up to Maine, even some excellent fishing up in our Maine locations. On the coast, I mean, Southwest Florida, there's inland fishing, offshore fishing, Savannah, Boston, there's just something for everyone. Personally, my favorite is tuna fishing. So I like to go either to San Diego or actually Carnot, France is probably the hidden sleeper out there. There's great tuna fishing there in the midsummer. And again, our boats are set up for it. The owner out there is a big tuna fisherman. So it's a great place to be.
That's great. So, we've talked about being on the water. Now we're going to talk about the conference or the Freedom Forum as we now know it. But, being the #1 social boat club for boaters, we've got a lot of great franchisees and a lot of great owners. It's a very exciting week for Freedom as we're all kind of getting together, obviously wishing we were getting together in person. But, can you tell us a little bit more about what we've seen so far for the FF20 Virtual Freedom Forum, what we can expect and what you hope that the franchisees get from it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we normally have a 4-day in-person event, and it's again fantastic. And I know you've been there. I've seen you there. This year we basically got 3 afternoons, and we're trying to get across in day 1. We've got a ton of kind of how did 2020 go, and what are our big plans for 2021 and beyond. The second day is all about partners. So we've got boat partners, a bunch of boat brands from Brunswick, of course, as well as others. Mercury's there. And a ton of other suppliers that work with us. On day 3, we shift over and we really go into a bit of a celebration mode. So we start off with marketing and talking about some great programs we have coming out for 2021. And then the rest of the event is going to be a celebration of our awards banquet, which is one of the highlights of the events in person. And we're going to do our best to make it a super time, even though we're not face to face.
Well, there are some pictures floating around from last year's event that are just ingrained into my brain right now from that awards celebration. There's a little, and again, it all leads back to John Giglio. It was just the dress. It was the dress up, the whole 70s thing.
Yep. We have some great themes normally, and again, we are always about how do we do a great job, service our customers well, and have a great time doing it. And that's really, again, goes back to John and his mantra. So, good stuff.
That's great. Well, Louis, one final question for you, maybe the most important one of all. In one word, what does Freedom Boat Club mean to you?
Yeah, freedom to me is fun. Basically, it's fun on the water. It's fun to be working. It's fun to work with people and see them have a great time. So freedom is fun.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. And Louis, I cannot thank you enough for joining us on our Freedom Social Watch Party Wednesday. The shirt is fantastic. I need to get one of those. Maybe we'll get the Freedom logo on here. Maybe we'll get the Brunswick Hawaiian shirt. And we'll just, we can do kind of like the full Zoom call and doing it that way.
Right.
Congratulations on a very successful year. Again, those emails, every time they come in, everybody gets very excited about it. And most importantly, continuing to build our very successful group of franchisee owners around the world. As always, our members, thank you again joining us. Join us every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern time for our Freedom Social Watch Party Wednesday.